Hello, I'm Pieter Schoeman and I'm the leader of the London Phiharmonic Orchestra. First of all, you gotta play those violin solos and you have to sound like a soloist. In the last 4 months, I've got to play An Heldenleben, Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake with several of the solos, Strauss' Metamorphosen, Beethoven Missa Solemnis. So the solos keep on coming, so you got to be able to handle that. I'm the principal of the first violin section, so I have the largest section in the orchestra. So my duty towards my section, like every other principal's duty, would be to take care of their section. During rehearsals, making sure everybody's happy and comfortable, making sure the conductor is happy. But then when it comes to the actual playing, how to make a large group of people, of individuals, play together and to feel music the same way. A conductor's beat can be interpreted in different ways. Nothing in music is metronomical. We practice with metronomes at home, that's very important, but essentially nothing is metronomical. So a lot of musicians find it easier, sometimes more natural, to follow the bow of the leader. Whether it's slow or fast, and they can anticipate when I'm about to change bow or when I'm about to just change my finger. When it's a slow release of a chord that changes, it is very natural for musicians to follow each other. So nothing is constant, and that's also the wonderful thing about live music, is that you can rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. You get to the concert and it can be different. And as the leader, I have to be ready for these differences. So it's a very vast subject, really. And that's why I say I'm still trying to figure it out, because I've been at it for really over 20 years. Because officially I've been leader of this orchestra for, I think, almost 17 years, but it's actually been almost 23 years now that I've been leading most of all the concerts of the LPO. I grew up in South Africa and started playing the violin when I was 4.5 years old. When I was 11, the very famous violin teacher Dorothy DeLay of Juilliard came to give master classes in South Africa, and I was one of the ones chosen to play for her. At that event, who I still consider was South Africa's best violin teacher, was watching all of that, and afterwards he came to my parents and he offered to teach me for free. And for 5 years I took the plane every month for my violin lessons, and I would usually stay with him and his wife. So now, forwarding several years later, when I was 15, I won a scholarship to go to the Interlochen National Music Camp in Michigan. There were over 25 different countries represented. I entered the concerto competition with the Bartók Second Violin Concerto, and I won, and I got to solo with the World Youth Symphony Orchestra, which was for me a huge turning point, because from then on I knew there was nothing else in life that I would want to do. That was my moment. So 1984 will always stick in my mind. So I went to University of Southern California in Los Angeles for 4 years. My next really amazing thing happened, that I met my childhood hero, Pinko Zuckerman, in a masterclass, and we really hit it off. And after a year, he introduced me to my next teacher, Sylvia Rosenberg, a formidable, incredible teacher in New York. So I moved to New York to study with her. But so, after 8 years of studies in America, my family thought it's time for me to get a job, because I'm the kind of guy who could study just forever. I'm just like the eternal student. But somewhere we got to draw the line. 8 years of American studies is a very expensive business, and I've been very lucky to have had sponsorship throughout all those years. My fiancée at the time already had a job in the Monte Carlo Philharmonic Orchestra. Now I'm looking at ways to move over to that part of the world. The only position that opened up was in the Nice Philharmonic Orchestra, right next door. So I prepared for the audition, and I gave my fiancée's phone number in France as my contact number. The Nice Philharmonic Orchestra had an oversight. I got so lucky there. Got an oversight in administration somewhere. They didn't spot that I'm not from the European Union. I still had a South African passport. So they called my fiancée. They said, no, impossible. Mr. Schoeman cannot audition for us. He's the only one not from the European Union there. So she said, well, look, you can't do this. He's right now on a plane over from America already to come do the audition. So they said, okay, they'll make an exception, thinking I probably will disappear between the rounds, and promise he was behind the screen. So they had no idea who was playing, and I went from one round to the next, Finally, were two people in the finals, and then finally, when they chose the winner and they took the screen away, there I'm standing, a big problem for them. So they told me, we give you 3 months. If you can get the work permit, then the job is yours. If not, we give it to the runner-up. So I applied for the work permit, went back to Xavier Rosenberg to continue studying while I wait. And then about 2 months later, I got notified that I have the work permits. I started my work in Nice. And then the LPO was my second job several years later. Well, I think the one thing about the London Phiharmonic Orchestra, what makes it unique, is its flexibility and how to adapt, how to listen. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that 4 months of the year we play in Glyndebourne. We sit in the pit, we accompany the opera singers. It's a completely different ball game. It's much more unpredictable. You don't always hear the singers so well. It makes you so aware and so flexible. And then also, what I love about my colleagues, how maybe we all get up at 4:30 in the morning, go out to Heathrow, get on the first flight over to some European city, you arrive there, you eventually go to the hall, have a rehearsal, and you play the concert that first night, and everybody would be knackered. And when it comes time for the concert, everyone steps up to the game and can do some of the most amazing playing. I'm always shocked at how awful we all feel and how well we can play at that moment. I have incredible respect for my colleagues, and also British orchestras are famous for being really team players and knowing how to play together. In the string section, there are many international players, and we've all learned to enter this wonderful British tradition of being a good team player and how to play together. What I love probably most is being in the center of the sound, to be in the center of all of that, but then also the moments where we play so super soft. So to be in the center of all of that is just an incredible experience. Just to be among so many gifted musicians, be on the same stage, is amazing. I'm the luckiest person in this orchestra, and I would not trade it for anything else.